I was with some friends, and they were telling me about an upcoming vacation. Naturally, they were excited about it, and they were talking about where they'd be going and all the things they'd be doing. In the course of the discussion, I said, "What about getting to the airport? Do you need a ride?" And they said, "Oh no, we're fine. Chuck's going to take us." "That's mighty good of him to help out like that," I said. And one of them laughed and said, "Well, no, not really. You see, Chuck likes to drive to the airport. When he heard we were going, he offered to drive us out, and I said, 'Oh, no, that's okay. You don't have to do that.' And he said, 'No, please, I'd like to. I like to take people to the airport.' So we said, 'Okay, sure.' Now, I have driven people to the airport and picked them up. It's quite a long drive, and there's absolutely nothing to recommend it. If I make that drive, I'm doing someone, as they say, a solid. The idea of making that trip because I enjoy it, that would never, ever occur to me. Except for the aspect of the favor, it's a complete negative. Round trip, it's got to take over an hour, more if you run into traffic. Gas is expensive. I don't expect anyone to pay me, and the roads are all interstate highways, boring stretches of gray cement. And there is a touch of jealousy involved in the operation, too. My riders are taking off for a vacation. I'm just a donkey. After I drop them off, I'm going to make the same crummy, monotonous drive back home. So it astonishes me to hear that someone genuinely likes to do this. The French writer Montaigne, known for his essays. He wrote many of them on a wide variety of topics. I've read a few. I think he started using the word essay to describe what he was doing with his words, from a French term meaning to attempt. Every time he wrote about something, it was not as an authority. He was more like an explorer, examining new territory. He was taking his best shot at understanding a particular subject. It is said that Montaigne had the words, "Nothing human is foreign to me," carved in Latin into one of the beams of his house. I heard that many years ago, and it still amazes me. It is, for me, a great challenge, because human behavior is, shall we say, extensive, and at its farthest reaches seems to defy explanation, much less a true sympathy. I find it hard to believe that anyone could truly enjoy driving someone else to the airport. I find it much more difficult to fathom the actions of a young man who entered a movie theater through a rear door and started shooting and killing patrons, or the young man who got into an elementary school with some handguns and began shooting and killing children and anyone else who got in his way. I don't understand this. I don't want to understand this. I don't want to have to think about it. But Montaigne's challenge, carved into that beam above his head, says I must. These people were insane, that's obvious. They were badly mentally damaged in some way. The question I have is it something characteristic of our culture? Is it a complete anomaly that two men would design a way to hide in a car and drive around and shoot people, kill them, random people? Or is there something in the way we live that would lead someone to do this? There is the constant presence of the guns as the instrument of the action. People insist that guns in themselves do not kill anyone, and that's true. Automatic rifles don't kill anyone either. Bombs don't kill anyone, not by themselves. Atomic explosive devices are similarly innocent, but they undeniably allow individuals to inflict terrible damage. These individuals are sick, and we don't have the resources or the capability to help them, or even identify them. There's no way that I can see to limit the use of firearms. I mean in a meaningful way, not just in an attempt to, quote, do something, do some good, unquote, after the latest horrifying incident. There are simply too many weapons already in existence. These weapons exist because we made them and sold them and bought them for various reasons, and the odds of them getting into the hands of people with a seriously disturbed mental process, someone who sees reality in a way that seems impossible to the rest of us, the odds of that are nearly the same as our chances of running into someone who likes driving people to the airport. Some people say it's evil, It's the work of the devil, who is all too real. I say it's a simple numbers game, the fiendish laws of probability, a kind of lottery. The conjunction of mentally broken people and lethal weapons is statistically rare, but also statistically inevitable. It will be expected to appear with a grim regularity. When it does, we should react to it in many different ways: shock, sadness, horror, but never with surprise. You reap what you sow. We have allowed this to happen, the possibility of it, and it will continue. It's why the gods were pissed off at Prometheus for giving us fire. They knew we couldn't handle it, and they were right.